mean, did you dream that text ever? I mean, was it like in your head all the time?
No, but I did know it very well. And actually, we were talking earlier about it, like after so long. It was like, okay, I know what's happening.
Exactly.
And it was like down to the second. We're gonna be
you didn't even need the script. You didn't even.
Oh no.
You were off script by the time we finished that run.
I totally was.
I know.
Yeah, but it was funny. Yeah.
Wait, by the time you finished the run, how long are you part of the process?
11 months. But I was part of the production team.
You do the subtitles, super titles live?
I do.
She's here.
Yeah.
She's one of the. She's a cast member. That's what's so incredible. Because when you're doing it and the actors go up, they miss a line or something. You have to be there when you're doing super titles.
I have to go with
You have to be right with them. I know.
Yeah.
We come back.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
And I would get nervous.
I know.
I would be like, I have started a performance.
Exactly.
It was fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
And you never messed up, or you always messed up?
Oh, no, you guys wouldn't know. So
I didn't know.
It didn't matter. No, but I did, and I knew when I would mess up too, because it's like missing a line.
Wasn't it incredible though to be part of something like that? I mean, for me, I was so proud that it was the first Spanish language show that ever won Production of the Year. I mean, that we made it accessible though to those critics.
Yeah.
Through your work.
Oh,
but truly through the translation, you did the translation, and then you did all the live translating. So otherwise in Spanish, that would have never happened. That is what's, I'm sure historically has kept people from having access to the art. But because we had an English translation, all of those critics got to understand what La Razón Blindada was.
I love that thought.
I know, I do too.
That I
Opened it
contributed
up
a little bit to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's part of what I like about doing the super titles.
Yeah.
But it does make it more available. My boyfriend jokes because he doesn't speak Spanish, so he jokes that he's the one who reads he's the only one who reads them.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about the fact that I got Production of the Year actually was like pretty amazing.
Oh, it was incredible.
I was thinking about it recently, last month actually, where I was meeting with a group of people and we were supposed to tell everybody, like, okay, what do we do? Like, who are we?
What do we do?
Well, part of what I do is, aside from work, it's like I participate in these productions, and I was like, oh, and we did this one that won Production of the Year, and I thought, like, that's actually
and you really have to know it would have never happened without you. I mean, literally, it wouldn't have happened without you.
That's so sweet.
That's what opened it up to. It's wonderful.
It was fun.
It was wonderful.
It was fun, and it was funny though that by the end we were like, okay, no more.
I can't take it anymore. And that's how you got the nickname Translata, because your name is Aleda. You did it so you were here so much we nicknamed you Translata.
You're like the only one to call me that, obviously.
I love that nickname so much.
Translata. It was so perfect.
Who came up with it, Jenny?
I don't know how it just
funny.
How was it hard when they would improvise? Because you can't just do a direct translation, right?
No, I can't touch it. Basically, the slideshow
is set.
It's set. I can't mess with it.
But you can pause it and you can wait.
I can pause it. I can wait.
You can skip.
I can fast forward.
Yeah. So you can manipulate it.
Yes.
To that extent.
The first performances were the most difficult, obviously, because even when we had rehearsals, you were mentioning, the actor who first started, Arturo. Arturo, right? I remember correctly.
Yeah, yes.
He was big on improvising.
He was.
And it was a little nerve-wracking because then I didn't know what he was going to say.
Right.
And
he didn't know what he was going to say.
He couldn't tell me. I know. I remember having to sit him down and say, okay, tell me what is what do you think you could say?
Yeah,
and then even if you deviate a little bit, at least
I know where we are. And was so amazing though, Aristides Vargas, who was he was both the director and the writer.
Yeah.
So as the director in him, Aristides, he loved that this actor Arturo would improvise because it was fun as the director, but as the writer, Aristides was always frustrated with him for improvising. So it was this push-pull in Aristides himself.
Yeah.
Between,
really
don't do it, don't do it.
Yeah. There was a lot of energy in that.
Oh, it was beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of art.
It was really good.
I'm excited about Rome too. It's so beautiful.
And
it has that same physical energy,
Yes, exactly.
Because Alberto has, he works for he founded that theater for the deaf in Mexico.
Which is,
isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
So he's really about physical theater, and you
Amazing.
see it in this piece.
Yeah.
And I'm just, so that's another way that something is communicated, through the body. So English language, Spanish language, the physicality of the work.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I'm excited to see it live.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
right now, I've seen it only on video.
Right, exactly,
and I've
right.
talked to Julieta. We've had meetings, like
Right.
running through the language.
Right.
It's been a really interesting process getting because the play was already translated.
Right.
But then the translation that we received was more. I think it was more. Like more of an interpretation of the language.
I see.
So when we started working through it, Julieta and I both agreed that it really needed to be more about what the actors were saying instead of interpreting what they were saying.
Right.
Because we ran a little bit into that even with La Razón Blindada, where you couldn't.
You want to know. You want to authentically know what these words are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of finessing
Yeah.
of the translation, and it's been really fun to
I'm
go
sure.
literally word by word,
I'm
where
sure.
every word is pretty much chosen. And we still have a little bit of finessing to do. But.
That's very cool.
What's an example of something that you were able to finesse?
Well, so the one we were working on just recently, actually, in Spanish, one of the actresses or the actors says that she earned money selling bottles of a product I didn't even know what it was, but essentially, apparently in Mexico, they have these large, essentially beer bottles that make me think of like the liter soda bottles, but it's like beer for like that a family could enjoy. And so it's a very particular name. And so I was like, well, I don't understand what that is, so I'll leave the English translation as it is. But then Julieta was like, no, it's really not what it's saying. So then we were able to, between the two of us, she explained to me what that word caguamas, explained to me what that is, and then explained to me why the translation wasn't quite accurate, and then between the two of us brainstorming, okay, we're gonna say it is something totally simple at the end, but we're gonna say beer can. That's what it comes up to.
That is the poetic collaboration between the two of you. It ended up with beer cans.
Beer cans. That's what we went into. But it was a whole process of like me learning about something very specific about the culture in Mexico.
But then it helps us though that in our culture understand what it is we're really seeing and hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, who is it you're translating for?
Yeah, because I think that the original translation said something like, I've been recycling something. And so it was like a lot more formal, something that we would understand, but that actually wasn't what the character was saying.
Right, and you couldn't feel the character.
Yeah, you couldn't. Exactly. And so here we have this 7-year-old girl saying, well, I earned my money selling beer cans.
Yeah, you understand that.
And you get that, like you get the, I think, like the mental image.
Right, plus the juxtaposition of that, that's sad. There's something sad about that. Something heartbreaking.
7-year-old
would be having to do that.
Who... And the line is, who gave you the money? And she says, nobody. I earned it selling beer cans. So there's nobody to give her money. It's very loaded. Actually.
Great, bravo.
So, what are you doing today?
That is what we're doing. So I have been working with Julieta alone, but it's so different when you have the two of them, so we're going line by line and finessing like the final things, I have a list of questions and just making sure that everything that they say is represented in the translation because it doesn't, as improvisation happens, many things get added, like single words. There was one line that was very important that was not in the script, but that is important in the play, and now we've added that. So.
And Alberto hasn't done it like this. He hasn't had a translation. He hasn't used this as design, right? So I think that's what's kind of fun about this for him.
I think you're
for me.
I think you're right. That this hasn't been done before. With at least for him.
Yeah, for him.
Yeah.
So that's that other element. And timing changes when you're doing that.
It does. Yeah, exactly. And that's another, that's actually a big part of what we're doing today is saying, okay, where are those long pauses?
Because you have to read.
Yes.
You have to be able to read. So if there's too much text on the slide, on the single slide, it's a burden to read and people abandon it. So it has
to be quick.
It has to be
quick.
quick.
That's something that Chima said in an earlier video was that performing when people were reading super titles was really interesting, and they were like timing some of their laugh lines specifically so that people laughed at the same time.
Right.
So that's
Yes.
really interesting.
And
Right.
it's something we have to pay attention to when laying out the text, is that I can't have the slideshow, I can't have the super titles run ahead of the actors.
Right.
I can't give
the
the
joke, give the
punchline.
joke away.
Exactly,
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
give it away.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it is about timing.
It's finessing. It's
It
great.
is.
It's great.
And it is really fun. So I'm eager to see it.
Oh, I'm so
live.
glad you're back.
We'll have more with Translator later.